Hello world, Jay Sherm here. In today's episode, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why starting a company when you are in college or just graduated college or just young is a good idea. The first reason is basically the title, because you are young. And when you're young and you just graduated school or you're in school, it is the perfect time to try something new, learn about running a business, build a new platform or create a new product or write a book or make a movie, basically anything creative. There's a lot of music producers who started out really young and they just kept hustling and putting out music, and eventually their music was heard. Same goes for a lot of entrepreneurs. In college, they're able to find college grants and college funds that specifically target college kids who have new ideas. But the reason why starting young is the best idea, at least in my opinion, is because if you fail, and you will, you'll make mistakes along the way, at least you're failing and making mistakes at a young age. So not only are you going to learn a lot, but you'll have all the time in the world, literally, to get better at what you do and improve upon your products or whatever it is you want to build. I remember in my past life when I went to college, I was doing music stuff, I was writing books, I was in technology, building computers and building websites. I was trying so many different things, and what I found that worked for me is because I started at such an early age, I was able to learn and pick up a lot of skills along the way that have become very crucial in my business today. So again, going back to starting young, you need to learn a lot of stuff, right? And it's a lot harder to learn things as you get older. In your 30s and 40s and 50s, it's actually scientifically proven that it's much more difficult for you to, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, basically, right? You're set in your ways. You get too tired and frustrated to learn like a new language or learn a new instrument. It's a lot more difficult to force yourself to sit down and actually learn something new. But when you're younger, your body, your brain, everything is just ready to expand like a sponge and absorb everything and learn something new a lot easier. So definitely throw yourself into the gauntlet at an early age. The second reason why I think it's a good idea to start when you're young is because you'll have the support of teachers, friends, family. There's, like I said, there's investment funds specifically targeting young people and college students and young entrepreneurs. So I think support is a big thing, right? There's a lot of entrepreneurs who are 30s, 40s, 50s. They have to support their families. They have wives and husbands and partners, kids, houses and mortgages, and full-time jobs. It's a lot more difficult for someone who's older to manage everything because they have to adult. And when you're younger, you're not really an adult yet. You're still probably living at home with your parents, especially nowadays during the pandemic. A lot of young kids are still living at home with their parents, which gives you a nice buffer. It gives you a safety net. I'm seeing both ends of the spectrum. I have friends who are considered millennials, or they're even younger than that, and they are being creative. They are making movies. They are writing books. They're doing podcasts like this. They're making videos. They're just being creative. They're trying to build platforms. They're using their time wisely. But then I see people on the other side of the fence who are at home, depressed, sad. The pandemic is forcing them to not be able to be sociable and not be able to see their friends and family, and they can't go out and do things, and they're just basically wallowing in misery. I feel like you should be taking the opportunity while you have the support system of your family and friends, while you have this extra time on your hands, to use it wisely, even if it just means learning how to code, okay? Learn how to code. Learn how to draw prototype design for your product. Hire a company that has a 3D printer to make a design for your new widget, your new gadget that you want to build. Learn something, right? Build a WordPress site, make a blog, do something productive. You have nothing more but time right now, and there's no sense in wasting it while you're young. Now, number 3 is going to be about mistakes. I know that I mentioned that you're going to make mistakes early on, but this is really important. When you make mistakes, I don't consider it that you failed. Right? When you make a mistake, I feel as though it's like Thomas Edison said, he just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. So let's say you're building a product. Okay, let's say you're building a physical product that you want to sell to people, and you get a 3D printer, or you hire someone, or you go online and get someone to print out something, send it to your house. You try it out, doesn't work. Oh man, made a mistake. I made it too big. Well, no, you found out that it was too big. It's not a mistake. It's that you have to do trial and error. So you make the new one, you send it out, you get it back. Now it's, oh no, I made a mistake. It's too small. It's like the Goldilocks situation. Too big, too small. You need it just right. So now you know, okay, the third try, I send it out, get it back. Now it's the perfect size. And the customers are saying, oh yeah, I would use this gadget. It fits my hand well. It works with my phone or whatever it is, right? So I think that making mistakes is not about failing and not about being frustrated. It's about learning, right? Because every time you make a mistake, you actually learn something new. And in the future, especially if you do this at a young age, as you reach 30s, 40s, you'll have made so many mistakes that you'll say, oh, I know what 25 things to avoid because I already made all those mistakes along the way. So when you know, for example, when I create something, whether it's a movie, I write a book, or I make a platform for an app or a website, there are so many things that I know how to do because I made the mistakes that the process is like seamless. It's almost like very easy in a way. The work is difficult. The actual work is very difficult and time consuming, but the process is almost like riding a bike. You know, like I know how to pedal. I know how to hit the brakes. I'm not going to fall. I'm not going to crash because I know how to use it. So it's very similar. Keep that in mind. When you make mistakes, write them down. What did you do wrong? What did you learn from that process and apply it to your next business? Number 4 reason why starting a business or learning something new, anything at all, when you're in college. Now, I know the pandemic has caused people to learn online. And some colleges are open, some classes are open, whatnot. But the one thing that stays true to being a college student is you have access to other college students, especially now that everyone is online. So what's the benefit? The benefit is, let's say, you know, in my case, I'm in Philadelphia. So let's say Temple University or Drexel University or UPenn, right? One of these schools, let's say you go to Temple University. Well, you can email all the students in your classes who you have access to email-wise or bulletin boards online. Hey, I have this new idea for a platform or product, or here's a new movie I made, whatever the project is. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Fill out this survey, or do you want to chat? Do you want to collaborate? Right? This is a time for you to get feedback, right, from beta testers. And with college students, you have so many of them, they always want to try something new, especially nowadays. Everyone's probably so bored at home that they're going to be willing to be a part of the project. And something I learned about college students over the years, I've worked with a lot of them, is they love to collaborate and they love to get involved with things, right? They don't always want to focus so much on it as much as it is, they just want to give their feedback and they want to kind of be a part of something new. Plus you have professors, teachers, assistants, departments that are probably willing to point you in the right direction for resources. There's a ton of free resources online for university students to get, materials and PDF documents that explain how to do things, possibly even free courses on how to learn how to do things. So just being a college student in general, you have a wealth of beta testers, resources, teachers, experts, so many different ways that you can improve upon your business just because you are in school or you're at the age where you have access to college students. And the number 5 reason why I believe starting a business or doing something new in your college years is the smartest thing to do is because let's just say that you are fortunate enough to succeed, right? Let's say the product you built, you sold 1 million of them and you made, $5 per product and you made $5 million. Well, you just graduated college with $5 million. You don't need to get a job, right? You can use your degree, the knowledge that you gained from your business, the money that you earned from your business to start more businesses, to start creating more products, to help others do the same thing as well, of course, because you always want to pay it forward when you succeed. Now, if you don't succeed, but you learned a lot, let's say you built a website or a mobile app that did work, right? You got people to use it, 10,000 people say, but you couldn't quite get it to scale. You couldn't get people to give you revenue. Like you couldn't monetize it, right? You were able to get free users, but not monetize them. But you learned a lot and you were able to get a lot of, interested people to either look at the app. Maybe you got some journalists to write an article about it. Well, when you do graduate, employers will see that you were able to do this. So let's say you're a programmer, or let's say you're a business major or marketing major. They're going to say, well, this kid was not only able to build an app, but he was able to get users to come to the app. So he must be good at marketing. And then they're going to ask you, well, what did you do to market your app? And you can tell them, and they'll say, well, we need someone like you in our business, in our company. And then they're going to offer you a decent salary, probably more so than the starting salaries of other people who don't have that story to tell them. So it's a 2-for-1. You might succeed financially, right? You might become this prodigy app builder or product builder, where you might have made a movie that did really well, or wrote a book that did really well, or whatever the business is. Or one of those industries will notice that you did this at an early age, and they'll want to hire you for their company. So it's almost a no-brainer. You should be utilizing the time, especially now, during the pandemic, when everyone is at their computers, right, at their phones. They cannot say to you, oh, I'm too busy to talk to you, right? So industry professionals, especially actors, directors, producers, publishers, people who put out content, corporations, companies, everybody, they're all basically on this downtime, this limbo period, where they do have time to talk to people. So pick up the phone, write an email, mention them on Twitter and all the other social networks, and try to get a hold of these people who can help you get in the door. Do it now while you have the time. And of course, don't forget, when you're in college or college age, they really are the best years of your life. I mean, I have so many fond memories of my 20s and my late teens. And of course, if I could ever go back in time, that's when I would go back. It was the most fun. You have the best friendships. You meet your love interests, and you learn a lot about life and about different topics. And for me, I was starting businesses. I was writing books. I was making movies. I was making music. I was starting platforms. So I was actually really doing a lot in my college years. And I feel like, you should really be grateful, even though we're in a pandemic. Be grateful that you have that time to find yourself, find what you're passionate about, form a lot of relationships and friendships, and take chances. Because this is probably the only time in your life that you can actually take chances, where the consequences are not going to be as dire as they would be in your 30s and 40s and 50s. Because if you make a mistake when you're older, it could be catastrophic, right? I mean, you could make a big mistake and lose your house, or you could, get divorced because, your partner wasn't happy with the decisions you made. But when you're younger, those decisions, they don't affect you as much, especially when you have a support system. So what are you doing watching my video? Get out there and go invent something new. Have fun while you're doing it. Get involved with people, collaborate, and put it out there for the world to see. Hopefully these 5 tips help you get motivated and inspired. And I want to hear what you're creating. So make sure you leave a comment and telling me what you're working on, and I'll respond to each comment. All right. I'll see you next week's episode.